Good evening, India, and good morning, US. I hope it is 5 by 5. From this end to your end, hope the audio is loud and clear. I want to brief you about the Pi Rep. The weather condition is cool at your home or office. To make it better, you can now switch off your mobile, TV, tablet, or better, place it on silent mode. Keep a cup of coffee and a barrel of drinking water as you are in for a long and interesting Aerocon 2020 session. It's a combination of morning time for the speakers and attendees in US and evening time for the speakers and attendees in India. The air is thick with a lot of technical content from SA India speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we can tell you we are in for a glass cockpit as far as virtual platform is concerned, fully digital. Well, for a country with 2.59 million aircraft movements a year, the engineering development is a long journey since the 1940s. Today's engineering is much more complicated than that of yesteryears, and today's engineering is connected, digital, sophisticated, data driven. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the tipping point in the product development because of fierce expectations, more requirements, more artifacts, systems of systems, teams of teams. I think never before has an industry experienced such a unique situation of having to prioritize product delivery over new product innovation. The airline industry today, which is by nature a global industry, is seeing a rise in demand while airlines are trying to keep their financial books healthy and positive. Having said the background, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now see what SA India has done or going to do for aerospace industry. SA India's Aerospace Forum, formerly Aerospace Board, is stepping into its 11th year in 2020. The Aero Forum has conceived a large format technical conference for the first time with 34 speakers, out of which 13 speakers are from international arena on the similar lines of Aerotech US and Europe. Over 15 months of conceptualization, strategic thinking, and thought leadership of Indian and global aero leaders have culminated into Aerocon 2020. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the day one of Aerocon 2020. I like to introduce the first speaker of the day, Dr. Bala Bharadvaj, President, SAE India. Bala is someone with decades of experience working in aerospace. He joined Boeing in 1987, worked in the US for over 20 years. Currently, he is the managing director for Boeing India Engineering and Technology Center. Dr. Bala holds solid academic credentials in engineering and management, BTech from IIT Madras in aeronautical engineering, MS and PhD in aerospace engineering from Georgia Institute of Technology, Atlanta, US, and MBA from University of California. He has also been inducted as an associate fellow of the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics and is a member of Beta Gamma Sigma Business Honor Society. These days, Dr. Bala is actively engaged with industry bodies connected with aerospace and mobility related initiatives as the president of SAE India. He is also a member of Governing Council of the Karnataka Aerospace Technology Center. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite Dr. Bala K. Bharadvaj to give the inaugural address. Over to you, Dr. Bala.
Thank you, Emcee. Friends across the globe, good morning, good evening, good day. I know we are sitting in different time zones, so it's a great pleasure and an honor to be addressing you across the globe for this inaugural function of the Aerocon, Aerospace Conference, being organized by SAE India, working together, of course, with SAE International, as well as various industry leaders. Now, when SAE, the Society of Automotive Engineers, was created way back in the early 20th century, about 100 years ago, this was created by some legendary leaders such as Henry Ford from the automobile industry, the Wright brothers from the aerospace industry coming together to create essentially a platform where people, like-minded people interested in the mobility industries could come together, could benefit. And today, after all these decades, we across the world are still benefiting from the vision of these legendary leaders by way of industry collaboration that they enabled, by way of standards that we have created and are today even managed by SAE India. SAE International. Now in India, SAE India was created about 25 years ago, and we have a very rich record of activities in the automobile sector. And I'm absolutely delighted, being from the aerospace industry myself, I'm delighted to be part of this event, which is focused on the aerospace industry and technologies. When we conceived this, you know that these kinds of events take a while to get together, come together. When we conceived this back in 2019, the civil aviation sector in India was booming, growing very healthy pace across the globe. But of course, and everybody thought, this is the place to be, has a very bright future. But then with the advent of the I would call it the era of the coronavirus, things have changed dramatically for the civil aviation sector. As we speak, passenger traffic has seen dramatic reductions, and the landscape for aviation sector has changed significantly just in the past few months. However, we believe, those of us who are in the industry, we believe this is a short-term event, short-term, maybe a couple of years, but this is something that we will get through and come to the other side. So essentially what you have to do is we have encountered a sea of turbulence. And when you're flying in an airplane, when you encounter turbulence, you fasten your seatbelt, get through the bumpy ride, and when you get to the other side, you are happy, you resume your activities. So I believe that is what we will see here. A lot of industry leaders think the same way. So here we are, tighten your seatbelt, and then get ready for an interesting ride. From one perspective, it appears that, oh my God, we are in the middle of a storm. There's no end in sight. That's true. In a way, we are definitely living through some times of uncertainty. But then I want you to take you back. I don't know what the audience age group is like, but I'm sure there are some of my colleagues who will remember this. We can go back to our own friends in the automobile sector to take some lessons from what they have encountered in the past. I'm talking about the early 1970s. Prior to 1973, the US automobile industry was building bigger and bigger cars, more and more luxurious cars. And the only problem was the average fuel consumption was something like 13 miles per gallon. That is what they would give. And if I translate that to the Indian audience, that is like 5 kilometers per liter. This is for a car. And seemed perfectly okay for that time, excepting there was an Arab oil embargo. And once that happened, the fuel prices skyrocketed, literally. This also led to a stock market crash, 50%. And everybody was in the middle of a crisis, very similar to what we are seeing. Our situation was not created by an Arab oil embargo, but something equally dramatic. Now, what the automobile sector did basically was to work with the government, did a major rethinking of what should we do next. And what this led to is new speed limits were introduced in the US. There was a lot more oil exploration because oil was more expensive. It made sense to go explore. But most importantly, the industry came together, reinvented itself, and introduced much more fuel efficient cars. And the benefit of what the people went through during those times, the 70s, we can feel that even today because there were many technologies, many directions that were set that are helping us even today, and we are benefiting from what that group of our colleagues went through. So essentially, they had to revisit the assumptions, they had to reevaluate the priorities, and they had to reinvent themselves. I think crises tend to force us to do that, and in aerospace, we are facing something similar. I think it is time for us to reevaluate our assumptions and our priorities. And if you write that down, if there was a presentation, I would show you revisit our assumptions and priorities. Sounds like rope, ROAP. And I'm going to connect you back to the Indian rope trick. If you haven't seen one, do a Google search. You will see images on YouTube. The Indian rope trick is one where the magician does something that leaves the audience wondering what happened here. How did he do that? And I think in our case, we kind of have to do the same thing. We have to revisit our assumptions and priorities. We have to come together as a group to address our challenges of today. We need to collaborate, and then we need to reinvent ourselves, come up with new ways of doing things. I'm delighted that SAE India is working with SAE International and many industry leaders across the globe on this conference. I think this conference is a great opportunity for us to collaborate and find those ways to reinvent ourselves. We have also invited many associations in India to work with us, and we are going to see some sessions connected with those. After these first 2 days are over, we are looking to collaborate on a massive scale so that we all are working in the same direction. So now, with this, I invite you, let us go create some magic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bala. I think, as usual, it was inspiring and guiding us. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, some numbers for you. We are celebrating 25th year this year. SAE India is celebrating Silver Jubilee year with 3,500 members, 486 collegiate clubs, and 4 different sections. SAE India is growing with your help. Now it's time to turn into the chair of steering committee to give you the overview of Aerocon 2020. SC chair or steering committee chair, Mr. Damodaran Subramanian. Damodaran currently holds the position of managing director in Safran Engineering Services India. He started his career in 1990 in Leyland, Ashok Leyland. Later he worked in EASY, EASI. He joined Safran Engineering in November 2004. He started his Safran career as Director Systems Design and worked on several transnational projects, including B787, A380, and A35. Diploma in Mechanical Engineering and Bachelor's and Master's degree in Systems and Information. In addition, he has been through several management programs in Safran University, IIM Ahmedabad, and Bangalore. He is well connected with SAE International and holds key advisory position in SAE India Aerospace Forum and SAE India Bangalore section. Over to you, Damodaran Subramaniam. Over to you, Dam.